Alrighty, this is going to be Rental Property Investing 101, how to get into it, how to make the most money doing it and not go broke. Remember, not financial advice. I have no idea what I'm talking about. I'm a YouTuber using, I don't know, dollar signs and a blackboard. Okay, here we go, get into it. So in this short video, we'll talk about 3 things. What kind of property do you want? You need to decide on that, figure out where you want to go, research your market. Are you urban, are you suburban, or are you out in the country in the middle of nowhere? And who do you need involved? We'll talk about the different people that you'll need to make this a successful investment. And into the slides. Okay, so what kind of property do you want? We'll talk about single family, multifamily, and owner occupied. It's possible that you want to invest in single family houses. That would look like this right here. So you may want a single family rental like this, a nice 3-bed, 1.5 bath house with some cabinets and, a refrigerator in your eat-in kitchen. But hey, whatever. That's what these people have with a shed out back. That might be what you want. They got a bathtub. That's all that really matters right there. We need that bad boy in the house. Doesn't look done. Looks like that drain there is a little messed up. So they got some work to do here. But anyway, if this is the kind of property you want, this is the episode for you. So the other kind of property you may want is multifamily. You can actually purchase these with a standard mortgage. We'll look at one right now. So this right here would be considered multifamily. It's in a good school system near Carmel, Indiana. So we're just trying to keep them close to compare well. You can purchase this whole place for $385,000 as a nice duplex. And you can put 2 renters in there, possibly yourself, and do it as owner occupied. Then your tenant will more or less pay your mortgage. Nice looking place. Yeah, we'll go from there. And we'll talk about owner occupied. That would be where you purchase the house. Maybe you live in it now. Maybe you want to live in it, in which case you go with multifamily and rent out the other portion of it. That one we just looked at actually had 2 apartments upstairs, which is nice. That's 2 tenants that can move in. And if you live downstairs, you get to live below what sounds like a herd of horses every night. Okay, so owner occupied, why would you do that? You get a lower rate on your mortgage. You can move in, fix it yourself, and rent it out. Maybe you house hack. We have another video on house hacking. You can watch that here and rent out a room or 2 while you're actually living there, so your mortgage is paid for. All right, next slide. So the next thing you need to do once you've decided on the type of property you want to get is decide whether you want suburban, city, or urban, and consider prices and research your market. In your market research, we'll go ahead and switch over to these properties to give you a good example. So on this house here, you can see it's a really good school system. It's 9, 9, and 10. Carmel, Indiana, I think, is known for that. If you do this house, you're going to get possibly a family in there that wants the school system and have them there for 4, 8, or 12 years while all their children go through the schools and graduate, whatever, just go on to college, and then their tenant moves out and another one moves in. You can see this house is $1,450 per month to rent. 3-bed, 1.5 bath, 1,400 some odd square feet. The interior fixtures don't look the best. Our kitchen is all mismatched with a microwave on the counter. Yeah, that's not ideal. But hey, look, some older cabinets. Got some nice countertops in there, and they're probably getting this amount of rent because the school system. Now, yeah, it's not laid out the best here. I don't know why you're doing that with a dented up stainless steel refrigerator and a dinette. Yeah, I don't know. That's not the best arrangement. But hey, if they can get $1,450 out of that, that's a good area to invest, I guess. Bathroom needs some work. Yep, we looked through that. So they're getting $1,450 for this house here. This is in the suburbs, again, with a nice school system. This next house is not in the suburbs and does not have a nice school system. So if you want to invest in an urban area like this is more downtown Indianapolis, You can already tell this house looks somewhat older. There's no real driveway here. I'm not sure where the tenant's parking. It looks like it's up against another house. Up against this house here. Yeah. You can see the difference. Look at the schools here. We have a 1, a 1, and a 4. This house is comparable. 3 bed, 1 bath, 1,400 square feet, $950 per month. So you can get this home probably for less as a purchase, but you're also going to rent it out for a lot less, $500 less per month. Maybe you don't have the funds to purchase this home here, because this house here is probably 150 grand, and this one here is probably about 90,000 or less. I think they purchased this one for 50,000. So the value of this house is a lot less. You can rent it for the $950 per month, but you're actually going to likely have more cash flow off of this home. The other thing, you can possibly invest way out in the country. This house here is in the middle of nowhere in Indiana, some small town, Connorsville. And it's comparable as well. 3 bed, 1 bath, 400 square feet less. No pictures on this bad boy. But $800 a month. The house looks like it was sold worth about 50 grand out there. So yeah, that's a really good rent to value ratio. But again, as far as cash flow goes, it's not really going to do what $1,500 or $1,450 per month is going to get you. And then it does have good schools, which, hey, that's really good. You probably get a tenant in there at the $800 per month. But is it really worthwhile? It's out in the middle of the country. You probably have trouble getting contractors out there. It's up to you what you do. Me personally, I invest in this type of area. Excellent schools, good suburb. This driveway looks like crap, but you know what? Somebody's going to rent this house and not care about that because of the school system. All right, back to the slides. So there you go. There's a difference between suburban, city, and urban and prices. You can see that your suburban home in a good school system rents for $500 more per month. You'll probably have a better quality tenant that'll stick around for multiple years compared to the city or urban environment where you never know what's going to happen. There could be peaceful protests. Or not so peaceful protests, and then your tenant wants to move immediately. That's no good for you and no good for your rental business. If you get a home out in the country, maybe you live there now and you can't sell it, so you put it up for rent. You're not going to get as much cash flow, but you probably would get a solid tenant that's not going to move because, if they're out there in the middle of nowhere, why are they there? They're not trying to move to a city at that point. They're not trying to move to the suburbs of Indianapolis. They're probably hanging out there working on, a farm. A lot of farms out there, maybe at a little auto shop or something. And they just need a place to stay for a couple years. And prices. So if you don't have the funds to purchase a home in the suburbs, because again, you're going to pay 50% more or 70% more for this suburban house than you would for an urban house. You may have to go with urban to get started. You're going to get less rent out of it. But you know what? You could have a better rent to value ratio, could be 1.5% in the urban area. You just may be knocking on the door every month to collect the rent to where the suburban family, they don't want to be evicted because then their children have to leave the school system. So you know what? They pay their rent on time. That's kind of the difference in the level. This would be an A property. This would be a B or C property, and out in the country would probably be a B property. Another video on that. Might link it up here. Don't know. If you see a little thing pop up there, then we're linking it. Okay, next slide. I'm tired of this one. So the other thing and the last thing in this video is, who do you need involved? Well, you need a realtor. Unless you are a realtor, I would highly suggest getting a buyer's agent. You can look through the area and pick one that you like. Usually you can go online, look for realtors in Carmel, Indiana in this case, and some Yelp ratings or something will pop up as to who's a good realtor. You can call around to a few of them, and they'll be glad to help you out, I'm sure. The more clients they have, the better. And, right now they're just basically needing to go to Home Depot to buy a rake to pull in all the money they have because everybody is purchasing houses. So the second thing you'll need is a contractor or somebody to do maintenance. If you're not local, you need to Google around to contractors there and figure out who's going to fit the needs. Is it a contractor that does plumbing and roofing and everything else? Or is it a contractor that just does plumbing, just does roofing, just does siding? What you need to do is build a list of contractors, get 2 or 3, because if one messes up a job, you can just call the other one and they'll go out there and fix whatever's broken. Make sure you have 1 or 2 or 3 contractors, not 1, 2 or 3. And then you need a mortgage broker. So with a mortgage broker, they're all over the place, right? Like you can just Google Carmel, Indiana, again, mortgage broker, and you'll get a list of probably 50 of them that are right there. So you figure out which one's best, ask them for their closing costs, you call over to them, tell them about yourself. I'm an investor of a, 750 credit score, 800 credit score, 500 credit score, whatever the case happens to be. And then they'll go through and tell you about themselves, like, hey, our closing costs are low, hey, our closing costs are high, but we can close on a property within 15 days, etc., etc. So then you pick that person. Once you have these 3 people, you're ready to go. You can look for houses now. So now that you can actually look for houses, you can come over to what we had there before. These bad boys, you can go look around and actually find one in the area that interests you and put in an offer. So yeah, there you go. Keep these people close, and we'll go back to the original slide. So that's it for 101. That's how you get started. That's 3 easy steps to start moving forward. And once you're moving forward, you can go ahead and watch this next video here. It should be Rental Property Investing 102 by the time you see this. It's not out yet. It'll be out tomorrow. Okay, hey, y'all have a good time out there.